coaches can coach and you guys can officially practice, but you guys spend a lot of time working together, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've been together, since September, just lifting and practicing out here and just kind of getting to know each other a lot better. And I think we've formed a pretty special bond with all the time that we've been able to spend together just practicing and stuff. So it's been a fun off season.
We're starting out with you. We'll talk about pitching. It seems it's going to be a strength of this team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got a lot of arms back, and fortunately, a lot of the arms that we got as freshmen are going to, I think, have some really good innings for us this year. Some of those guys are going to have some pretty prominent roles right away, I think, and it's been great to have those guys come in right away and have a lot of older leadership around them and kind of show them the ropes. And they've adapted pretty quickly to their surroundings, and hasn't been too hard of a transition for them from high school to college now.
Cole was one of those guys that last year came in impact right away. Who were some of the guys that you really taken notice of in the first 2 games?
Obviously Matt Crook, who was a big guy out of high school, came in with a lot of expectations, and I think he's really lived up to it thus far. Trent Padden, Steven Nagasek has had an outstanding fall, and yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on. I think all the freshmen have had gotten pretty lucky with the older guys around them at each position to help them kind of along the way and kind of show them how it's done. So we're expecting a lot from those guys.
How about you, Jake? Where do you feel you've made strides in the offseason game?
I just got a lot stronger and picked up a lot of velocity, and my breaking ball's improved tremendously, and it's been fun, pitching in the fall. I had a really good fall, a really good off season, and I'm just pretty eager to get going here.
You said you'll do anything this year. You come in knowing, are you going to start? Are you going to relieve? What do you?
Still up in the air. I mean, all fall I've been working as our closer, as a reliever, and because in the past I've always been a starter, so I know how to prepare before games to start, but I've never relieved. So I've really worked hard in the off season to get my arm ready to throw multiple days in a row possibly, and just my preparation before I get in the game has been something I've had to work on. So
mentally, it's got to be a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a pretty emotional guy, so I feel like if I were to be the closer, I feel like I could fill that role pretty well, because it's you get in there, you're throwing one inning, you don't have to conserve any energy, you just kind of go up there and get to pump. And yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd definitely be something I'd really embrace, and I think I'd do pretty well at, but we'll see.
How hard are you throwing right now?
I got up to 96 in the fall, which was the hardest I've ever thrown, but been at 93, 95 around there.
Or even consistently as a starter?
As a starter, I was 89 and 92, I would say.
So you really present a different look then?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about the expectations going into the season, being ranked top 10, and then to add a little more to it, you got the Beavers at 4 preseason, and what's that like, having rival right up there with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been something we've definitely earned, I feel like, the past 3 years here. It's also something that we had last year. We were ranked pretty high at the beginning of the season. I don't think it really affected us in a negative way at all in the beginning of the season, which sometimes it does. But we take a lot of pride in being, in Northwest schools, and just because they're our rivals, it's pretty cool that both of us are in the top 10, and I think we get overlooked a lot up here in the Northwest with all the rain, and we don't get a lot of respect, and I feel like we definitely use that to our advantage, as a chip on our shoulder or something like that. But yeah, I mean, those expectations, it's just a number pretty much before the season. It doesn't really mean anything. It's a pat on the back, and I think it's nice to know that what we've done in the past 3 years is getting recognized, but like I said, it's just a number right now.
Daryl Hunter returns this year. Can you talk about what it's like to have a veteran pitcher back?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of more of a quiet guy, but he's definitely a lead by example guy, and a lot of people look up to him, and throws like 20 pitches, but he's going to help us a lot like he did last year, and be able to come in late in games, and we've always taken pride in when we get to the 6th inning with the lead, we feel like we're going to come out of it with a win, and Daryl is definitely a big reason why we're able to do that.
You've got a big homestand in March. It seems like the entire first half of the month you're here. How pivotal is it to hold serve here and to gain momentum moving into the season?
It's definitely going to be a big pitching month. It's obviously not easy to hit here, so I think it's going to be one of those months where the pitching staff is really going to have to pitch real well for us to win a lot of games in that month, and it's going to be nice being able to be here and playing in front of our fans, for a month, and school, obviously, get ahead of school and stay on top of that stuff. But yeah, it's going to be nice, and hopefully we'll get more and more fans as the season goes on. And
Jake, despite the preseason ranking, the way the last couple of years have finished, do you feel you guys going into this season with something to prove?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like we've kind of pushed that rock to the top of the mountain, and now it's about pushing it over and finally getting to Omaha, which is what Coach Horton came here to do, and what I certainly came here to do 3 years ago, and I know what everybody else came here to do. So yeah, we've been knocking on the door for the last couple of years, and we've taken a lot of pride in the off season of finishing everything and working hard in everything that we do. So if we get that opportunity again at the end of the year, we're going to put ourselves in the best situation to get there.
In terms of your new role, have you picked Jimmy's brain at all? Talked to him?
I mean, Jimmy was one of my best friends on the team, so I mean, him and I were picking each other's brains pretty much for 2 years straight. But he's also one of those kids where he's just all over the place, and there's not much to pick. But no, he was a great guy to watch. Honestly, he just every night he went out there just with the confidence that that he had in his work ethic, and when he got on the mound, it all came together, and he was about as good as it gets. So.
Did you take anything away from him mentally in the way he approached that job that you're going to try and apply?
Him and I are I think different in a lot of ways in that aspect of the game, where he was always very calm and kind of to himself before games, where I'm kind of I get a little more nervous, which is just how I've always been. It's not a bad thing, but we're definitely different in the ways that we approach before we pitch. So
is there a difference mentality-wise, getting ready for a game before it actually starts versus sitting in a bullpen for 7-8 innings and getting ready that way?
Well, absolutely, because that's the one thing that I've really had to work on. As a starter, exactly, you have a set time of when you're going to start stretching and when you're going to start throwing. And as a closer, you just kind of have a relative time, and you normally go down there around 7th inning or so. You never know if you're going to go in there in the 9th, or maybe you're going to go in early in the 8th. You just never know. You got to be ready for anything. And it's a lot tougher on the body to get loose, especially when it's cold. But yeah, like I said, it's something that I've worked on and something that I'm going to be prepared for.
Late in the season last year, this team didn't hit the ball really well, especially the guys in scoring position. You've been throwing at them since September, October. How's this team look as a hitting team?
Waz obviously works those guys' butts off, and we've been swinging wood all fall. But I'd say our top 9 hitters up to this point have been extremely tough outs. And there's guys here and there that that have been showing signs of life. But our top 9 hitters, I would say, have definitely been more productive this year than I feel like they have in the past couple of years, which is pretty exciting. And you as a hitter, as a pitcher, when you're pitching against your own guys, you kind of want, in a way, to to fear who you're facing, which is good. So they've made strides, and they're going to be ready to go. I'm pretty excited for those guys.
Were you impressed by Crook and Osick during fall ball and early? I mean, they're young guys. Obviously, you have a deep staff. It's going to be hard to maybe break in, but what do those guys show you?
No, Nogo came here, with a tremendous work ethic, and has made leaps and strides just with velocity and with his attitude, and we're expecting big things out of him. And then obviously Crook, with everything he did in high school and the kind of pitcher that he is, we're expecting big things out of him too. And they've both, I think, lived up to their expectations thus far through the fall, where just thrown real well, struggling with the strike zone at times, which is normal, but yeah, I mean, both those guys, I think, are going to contribute some real quality innings for us this year.
You guys see us as like rotation guys, or?
Crook maybe. I think Noga's going to assume maybe a reliever role to start the season, but I think Crook is definitely fighting for one of those starting spots, and it's definitely going to come down to this last month before season to see who those starters are. So.